On this episode of the Josh Kirby on Sports podcast, I'll be joined by my friend Jonah Pearson as we take a look inside Week 3 action of the National Football League, along with some golf conversation. That's all coming your way next on the Josh Kirby on Sports podcast.
Oh, indeed. I'm glad you connected. This is Dave Johnson, voice of the Washington Wizards. You have connected to the right place because you are listening to my man, Josh Kirby on Sports podcast.
Want to give a big thank you for the voice of the Washington Wizards, my friend Dave Johnson, for that awesome commentary, that awesome intro. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. I appreciate it. I want to welcome you into episode 5 of the Josh Kirby on Sports podcast. Make sure you follow me. My email, kirbyonsports@gmail.com. My Twitter, Kirby on Sports, and my Facebook, Kirby on Sports Podcast. And we're going to get right into it. I have on the phone with me from James Madison University, taking the time out of his busy day to be on the Josh Kirby on Sports Podcast, my boy Jonah Pearson. Jonah, how's it going today?
Going great. Thank you for having me, Josh. It's an honor and a pleasure.
Oh, man, yeah. So, interesting week 3 of football, and I want to get into it first with my, my team who got the job done on Sunday, Absolutely. The Washington Redskins.
Yes.
They get the win 31-17, and man, I just got to say the run game, they established the run game early, and that's what got the job done. But in the second half for the Redskins, they decided to play a little too conservatively, and they had some chances to lose the game, but the Green Bay Packers, with too many mistakes, let the Redskins stay in, and the Redskins got the job done.
Yeah, they did. Adrian Peterson definitely played well. He ran well. Which is, I think, what got them the win early on in that game. They definitely did play conservative, though. Stepped off the gas pedal there for a little while, similar to how they did with the Colts. I thought they looked like the same team losing to the Colts there in the second half this last week. But all in all, the Redskins are 2-1, and that's not something you can say every year. So,
yes, that is true, and going back to that Week 2 matchup against the Colts, they just did not have their foot on the gas pedal in the first half at all. But anyways, looking at the numbers, the big difference in rushing yards this week, Adrian Peterson, 19 carries, 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Chris Thompson, 6 carries for only 17 yards, but Adrian Peterson got most of the snaps in that game, so pretty good. Alex Smith threw 12 for 20, 220 yards with 2 great touchdowns and an interception. The first touchdown was probably the play of the game, in my opinion, on the first drive, Smith to Paul Richardson, and I don't know if you watched that game at all, Jonah, but what a great route adjustment to just find the ball, beat the safeties, and get into the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah, I did not see it live. I did see a replay of it, though. They definitely played well. That was impressive. Big story out of this game, though, is, of course, Clay Matthews with his 3rd consecutive week for roughing the passer. Questionable. Third questionable week of that happening. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, as a Redskins fan, I liked that it happened because I had a feeling if that was not a penalty, that would have been a game changer 110%. But
sure, it was a good Redskins flag, but
yes,
what do you think of the rule? Stands right now?
I don't really know a lot about roughing the passer, but in my opinion, Alex Smith still had the ball in his hands, and Clay Matthews just went for him. Technically, I was watching on TV, and Fox Sports rules analyst Dean Blandino came on and said that it was legal. It was a roughing the passer because he put all his weight on, but Alex Smith still had the ball, and I believe shouldn't have been called, but the Redskins lucked out there, and I'll take it. I'm a fan, but I don't agree with it. And Clay Matthews is right. The NFL is getting soft, and hopefully the National Football League doesn't become the National Flag Football League.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I think the game is definitely changing a little bit. Personally, I disagree with how the rule is written. I think they're being called on the field correctly because the rule is written now that you can't finish with all your body weight. But I think that's a little bit ridiculous to ask those defenders coming in 285-pound bodies at 15, 20 miles an hour and asking them to just defy gravity and move out of the way like that. I do think there's probably something is going to change soon, whether that's the amount of sacks or the NFL actually just rewriting the rule. But we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely there. But Redskins, great win there. But let's just take a look here. Aaron Rodgers on one leg. He was limping like there towards the end of the game. 27 for 44 yards, 27 for 44, 265 yards with 2 touchdowns. So he got 2 touchdowns under his belt, but still, he just looked like he got beaten up. Redskins got to him, sacked him like 5 or 6 times. I forget how many, but they got the job done defensively, offensively. The O-line was sort of questionable with Sean Laval being out, but other than that, I did like their performance, and hopefully, as reports are saying, Trent Williams will be back by the Monday night game in New Orleans. So that's looking good. And moving on here, we're gonna talk about Jonah's Falcons 1-2 on the season. How about that 43-37 overtime choke?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call it an overtime choke. That's how the games always are.
I was just playing with you there.
I get that. It's always been that way, though, for the last 10 years. These games going high-scoring games, going to overtime because you have electric offenses and defenses that are just truly horrible. I mean, and it doesn't help. Are missing their top 5 playmakers on defense, which is true, especially as a fan watching. I did watch this game in its entirety, though, and it was a great game. You can't. I mean, compared to a lot of other games this week, too, it was a great game. But definitely to see it, missed tackles. Drew Brees looked like Michael Vick and spin out of that and be able to rush for a touchdown to tie it up right there late in the fourth.
Okay,
so
going back to that Drew Brees spin move, I'm pretty sure it was because the defenders didn't want to hit the quarterback and get a roughing the passer call.
Well, at that point, though, he had become a runner. He had passed the line of scrimmage. I think it was a little bit of a miscommunication as to which one of them was going to wrap him up, and so neither of them did. But definitely frustrating as a Falcons fan to see 1-2 because I feel like we've played better than that, and we have been one play away from both of those losses, from beating the Eagles in Week 1 and now this game here. But I mean, the Saints are a good team, and Drew Brees was Drew Brees. He went 39 for 49, 396 yards, and 3 touchdowns and no picks. I mean, it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat him when he's doing that.
Yeah, that is true, and
2 rushing touchdowns on top of that as well.
Yep, yeah, I mean that's gonna do it. Like, hold on here. The
one takeaway I did have from this game that I was very glad to see was Calvin Ridley start to find the swing of things. I mean, he had a touchdown last week after having no catches Week 1, but I mean, he went 7 receptions, 146 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That is about as productive as a wide receiver can get. Took some pressure off of Julio, and Julio definitely brought the defense away from Ridley. So, I mean, I love seeing that as a young rookie. Just came in the league. I'm very excited about that. I think that the Falcons 1-2 is a whole lot better than it looks.
Yeah, definitely. As I'm pulling up the Falcons stats here, and if I can find it, and there it is. Yeah, technical difficulties there. But looking back, Matt Ryan, like an impressive 5 touchdowns as compared to Drew Brees, 3 touchdowns. Drew Brees more passing yards than Matt Ryan, but 5 touchdowns, and they still can't manage to seal the game. But very good shootout whatsoever, and Falcons fall 43-37. So
yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah.
But, so it's always been like that with them, and they got us this time. But anyway.
Yeah. So moving on here, I want to jump straight to this Monday night game and Ryan Fitzmagic here, and unfortunately they put up a valiant effort trying to come back, but they still lost 30-27. But Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think he needs to. He's in the question for being permanent starter over Jameis Winston with already 400 yards passing in his past 3 games.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely playing well. Although that being said, he threw how many picks was it on Monday night? 3 at least.
It was yes, 3 and 3.
But then, of course, there in the fourth quarter, it did look like Fitzmagic again, all of a sudden. It was Fitztragic to Fitzmagic within the span of just one game. But he's always been like that. He's always started out hot and then falls off. So we'll see what happens. I still think that even though Jameis is back, ready to play, I still think that Fitzpatrick is the guy. I would be very surprised to see the Buccaneers sit Fitzpatrick after what he's done. They have the Bears on Sunday, which is an incredible defense, incredible pass rusher in Khalil Mack. So we'll see what happens. I would like to see Fitzmagic versus Khalil Mack, though, and see how Fitzpatrick hits.
You cut out there. Hello. Yeah, you cut out there. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I was just saying that I would be surprised if the Buccaneers decide that they are going to still bench Fitzpatrick and start Jameis Winston since he's back, because I think Fitzpatrick has more than proved that he's able to be there. I think he should continue to be.
Yeah, and Jameis Winston, as you know, off the field problems, and if I was the Bucs GM, I'd just say you're gone and have a great life. But that's that. Moving on, very close game, the Bears and the Cardinals, as the Cardinals decide to put in Josh Rosen in place of Sam Bradford after Bradford throwing 13 for 19 for only 157 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. And Josh Rosen came in after that, threw 4 for 7, 36 yards and an interception, but they did put up a good fight against the 2-1 Chicago Bears. Mitch Trubisky, no touchdowns on the ground, but once again, the big defense for Chicago in Khalil Mack. 5 total tackles, 5 solo, 2 sacks, and 1 tackle for loss. And I just got to say, why did the Raiders let him go? And the Bears' defense is looking amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears' defense is definitely good, and it's definitely due to Khalil Mack. I've heard stats and stuff. He's the first to do this, the first to do this. It'll be interesting to see how often that gets them wins. They're 2-1 right now, leading the NFC North, I believe. So we'll see what happens there. I do think, though, that the Cardinals are the new Browns, honestly. They look horrible week to week. There's quarterback controversy. They put up 14 points in the first quarter this week, and I thought it was a typo. I thought ESPN messed up when I saw that. But then proceeded to goose egg the last 3 quarters in that game. And I really think that I would be surprised to see the Cardinals win 1 or 2 games this year, honestly.
Well, I can't blame you for saying that, because they do have a first-year head coach in Steve Wilkes replacing the retired Bruce Arians. But 0-3 so far for the Cardinals, so hopefully that might change. We don't know, but only hope for the best if you're a Cardinals fan. All right. Other scores around the league, week 3. The Bills over the Vikings. And, man, let me just say, Kirk Cousins is on my fantasy team. I've told you this multiple times. And he didn't get the job done for me. I did lose. But 27-6, Buffalo with Josh Allen starting over Nathan Peterman, which I can't blame them because Nathan Peterman stinks. But wow, what a game. 27-6, and the Vikings are 1-1-1 on the season.
Yeah, this game was a big surprise, I think, to everyone. I think a lot of people lost a lot of money on this game. I mean, Josh Allen looked like an actual NFL quarterback for the first time, which was weird. He definitely struggled at first, but he definitely looks like a good player this past week, and I was impressed. And we'll see what happens going forward. But Kirk Cousins, I thought started to show his true colors a little bit this week, and losing a game like this one. That was very Redskins of him. He didn't forget.
Very Redskins of him, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, but looking here, Josh Allen did 15 for 22 with 196 yards and only 1 touchdown. The rushing game, Josh Allen, he threw for a touchdown and rushed for 2 touchdowns. So, getting it done both in the air and on the ground for the Bills as they upset the Vikings 1-2 on the year for the Bills. And other scores, just quick recaps here. The Panthers over the Bengals by 10, 31-21. The Ravens over the Broncos, and the Broncos going back on track, 2-1. And the Raiders against the Dolphins. Dolphins win 28-20. And John Gruden's homecoming, or whatever you want to call it, he is 0-3. And Derek Carr just isn't seeming to get the job done. 345 yards with only 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Tannehill threw 3 touchdowns on the day for them, but still they fall short, and the Dolphins are 3-0, which is very surprising, and the Raiders are 0-3.
Yeah, I think the big story out of Oakland is obviously Gruden and his return to coaching. I do think, though, that he's in a tough spot, honestly. He picked up, he got into a situation where, with Derek Carr, who is almost unarguably not an elite quarterback. He has been in the league for a while now, and has still not gotten anything done. And then Marshawn Lynch shows flashes of being Marshawn Lynch, but I feel like he also shows flashes of being a 45-year-old homeless man who snuck his way into a jersey. And I honestly don't feel like this team is very good. And I mean, I'm impressed with the Dolphins. And personally, as someone who just despises the Patriots so consistently, I love the Dolphins' success, and I'm excited for them to win the division.
A 45-year-old homeless man. That okay, that made my night right there, that joke. But final score there, 28-20, Miami. Quick rundown of some other scores. The Giants beat the Texans, got their first win of the season in the NFC East. And, big story, I totally forgot to touch on it. The Browns. The Tyrod, he gets benched/injured. Baker comes in, and for the first time in 635 days, the Cleveland Browns win. For the first time. And Darnold, he didn't look too good. 2 interceptions, 169 yards. Taylor, he only went for 4 for 4, 19 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. As compared to Mayfield, he had 201 yards with no touchdowns and no interceptions. Let's just take a look here at some stats. The Jets and Browns were tied in the first quarter, 0-0. Jets put up 14 in the second quarter as compared to a field goal. Then when they put Baker in, they score 11-0 over the Jets, then 7-3 to make the final 21-17. So is Baker Mayfield, Hugh Jackson put out there that Baker will be the starting quarterback, but do you think this is the right decision, or should Tyrod come back?
Oh, I absolutely think that starting Baker is the right decision. That city, every single person there agrees that Baker is the right decision. Tyrod Taylor is not their guy. I mean, that injury was an I suck injury, and he knew it, and he knew he was about to get benched, and he figured, I'm going to go ahead and just head into the locker room while all these boos rain on me and just get this looked at. But you saw the electricity in that place change when Baker Mayfield took the field there
definitely.
Late in the first half. I mean, the Jets were up 14-0 when Baker came out, took them down the field, and just got points before the half. And that really just set the tone for the rest of the game. I knew going into half 14-3, Browns are going to win this game. And I stayed up and watched that whole thing because that's what I was hoping for. Do I think that Baker Mayfield is that good? No. I don't think he's great. But I think he's the best that the Browns have seen in a while. And I'm excited about it.
Yeah, yep. So, 21-17, the Browns go 1-1-1 on the year so far. And the Browns finally get a win, so that's something to celebrate about. And one more quick score. Carson Wentz, first game back, beats the Colts 20-16. Happy for Carson. Glad he's back and healthy. Seahawks over the Cowbabies 24-13. The Rams over the Chargers 35-23. And the Chiefs and the 49ers 38-27. And sad news for the 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo is out for the year with an ACL injury. And
you know what's even sadder news about that for the rest of America is, as the schedule stands right now, within a span of 7 weeks, the 49ers have primetime games 5 times in 7 weeks.
Prime time? Wow.
Which means that the rest of the world has to suffer through watching the 49ers backup play in prime time over and over and over. Which sucks for everyone else. And I read that like 2 of those games can get flexed out, but I mean, I'm not sure, honestly. But I mean, whoever that kid is behind Garoppolo, who is going to be playing?
Fun fact: their backup quarterback is C.J. Beathard, I believe grandson of former Redskins owner Bobby Beathard, and he did play last year against the Redskins. I forget if he came in after somebody got hurt or he played the whole game, but he came in and almost beat the Redskins.
Yeah, well, I mean, C.J. Beathard, it infuriates me that he's going to be a household name here soon because we have to sit there and watch all these 49ers games, essentially meaningless 49ers games. Hopefully some of those games get flexed out. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that flex scheduling, I've never seen it done this early in the season. That's usually for, like, high-profile games, like two teams battling it out for the playoffs. Like the Redskins Giants, when the Redskins had a shot of making it to the playoffs and they laid a goose egg against New York, and that got flexed to a 4:15 game with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. So, I mean, that's one example. But
right. Hopefully the league looks at this and realizes that these 49ers games may not be as desirable for people, but we'll see. We'll see if C.J. Beathard makes a name for himself this year. I don't know.
Yeah.
I also would not be surprised if the 49ers go after some other people out there as well.
Yeah, like Teddy Bridgewater with the Saints. I mean, I could see that as a candidate because Drew Brees. You know, like, why is Teddy Bridgewater a backup to Drew Brees? Like, Drew Brees plays really conservatively, so I don't think he'd get injured. Like, knock on wood, I don't want him to get injured. But Yeah, I don't think he would. So I think they should go for like one of those backups like Teddy Bridgewater, like prime candidate, because Teddy was in a position to start, and he did start, but then he tore his ACL, I believe, and missed 2 seasons.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the 49ers are about to become a very irrelevant team around the league, especially with Garoppolo being gone. I think if I were them, I would just start just spreading ridiculous rumors, even if you have no intent, but just saying that you have like contacted Brett Favre and Tim Tebow and stuff about getting a job. Just get Twitter electrifying a little bit, get people thinking and excited to watch the 49ers, even though there's actually no intention of that happening.
Yeah, I don't think Tebow's coming back. He's in the minors. So,
yeah.
And one more score for you. Very surprised. I did not expect this to happen. But former offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots, Matt Patricia, hosts his former team, the New England Patriots, and beat them 26-10. I was sort of stunned about this game, but wow, like, how did that happen? And another thing I want to add, some people are saying the Patriots are in a crisis, but we've seen the Patriots not do well before, and they're going to find a way to come back because they are the New England Patriots, sadly.
Sure, and it's easy to think that. However, I think this year could be different. I know last year they started 2-2, and now this year they're 1-2. And they, of course, they went to Super Bowl last year. But I feel like there's something different with this team now. They have essentially no weapons beyond Gronk, who's been quiet the last few weeks as well. I really don't know at what point can just Belichick and Brady not get it done, and you need some help elsewhere. The defense is bad, and the offense is not great anymore. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, I am trying to be impartial. I don't know if they're good or not, but I'm really hoping they're not.
All right, so another question. Do you think Josh Gordon will perform well after Cleveland traded him?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't even know when he's going to play. I think that he's a bit of a putz, but if there's any organization in the NFL that can fix him and get him playing right, I feel like it's the regime over there with Belichick. So we'll see. I think that he's obviously a great player, or at least was in 2012, the last time he was like a serious candidate for playing well. So we'll see. I think that he's nothing but trouble, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up just getting dropped by the Patriots here and done out of the league completely. But if he does get on the field and starts catching the ball, that's going to be huge for that team. It's huge for Tom Brady because outside of Gronk, no one is doing that right now.
Yeah, exactly. But looking at that here, the offensive coordinator, former offensive coordinator for the Patriots, gets it done and beats his former team. And let's take a look here at the matchups for Week 4 starting Thursday night. A pretty big primetime matchup on Thursday night, the 1-1-1 Vikings against the Los Angeles Rams. I'm looking forward to seeing that game. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Tennessee Titans on Sunday, along with the Saints and Giants, the Jets and Jaguars. That might be a shootout. The 3-0 Dolphins against the 1-2 Patriots. I'm excited to see how that plays. The Texans and the Colts, the Bills and the Packers, the Lions and the Cowboys, the Bucs and the Bears, the Bengals and the Falcons. How you think that's going to play out?
We'll see. We're back at home again, and I feel like our offense has been playing well. So it's definitely an important game. I'm not going to say it's a must-win. It is way too early for that, but 2-2 looks a whole lot better than 1-3. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and other games, the Seahawks and the Cardinals, the Browns and the Raiders, the 49ers and the Chargers, and a primetime rivalry on Sunday night, the Ravens and the Steelers, and on Monday night, the 3-0 Chiefs and the 2-1 Broncos. That has been your Week 3 recap for you. And Jonah, I hear you wanted to have a few segments when you're on the show with me, if you want to explain to our viewers.
Sure. I was just thinking we could run through some bold predictions in the NFL. We are now 3 weeks in, almost to the end of the first quarter of the NFL season. So, Josh, what's your first bold prediction for this year?
My first bold prediction that I have stated multiple times is that the Vikings will win the Super Bowl this year with Kirk Cousins.
That is bold and big. Very broad, right off the bat. I like it.
All right.
I guess my first bold prediction would be that the Patriots will not win the AFC North for the first time in who knows how long.
Yeah, I could agree with you there because I just don't think they have what it takes this year. I think like the Patriots' legacy is sort of fading, like so, not really doing like much, like not really play. They're gonna play well, but I just think other teams in the AFC are gonna get the job done, like the Jaguars.
Yeah, and I like the Dolphins too. Honestly, the Dolphins have looked good. I've liked Tannehill. Honestly, he's playing better than he ever has before. This game on Sunday, the Dolphins will play the Patriots, so I think this will be a big indicator. And if the Dolphins win this one, I really do think that the Dolphins are going to win the division. And for the first time, we may see no Patriots in the playoffs, which would be interesting. But at the same time, it is very hard to bet against Brady and Belichick. But that's my first bold prediction.
Yeah, but if the Patriots don't make it to the playoffs at all, I predict that there might be a lot of upsets we will not see. Like a lot of upsets, like not a lot of people will bet money and lose.
Sure. That's true. Yeah.
All right, well, my second prediction, the Green Bay Packers will miss the playoffs.
Oof. Yeah. It's possible. Again, tough to bet against Aaron Rodgers. Who do you think will come out of that division instead of the Packers?
The Packers, the Vikings are in their division. I think the Vikings are going to take first place, and I just don't think the Packers have that good of a shot. But as I do say, Aaron Rodgers is still the greatest quarterback in my mind, and over Tom Brady too, and he still is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I just don't think the Packers are going to get it done this year.
Yeah, they definitely haven't looked great, and especially if Aaron Rodgers has another injury, doesn't stay healthy, it's not going to be good. So we'll see what happens. But I do think that, there's something to be said for this Bears team and for the Vikings. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the NFC North.
Yep. And
my next bold prediction is going to be that your Super Bowl Eagles will finish the year under 500.
Yeah, that.
And this is a bold prediction considering they're already 2-1. However, I think that both of their wins have been a little tight. Week 1 against the Falcons, they were one play away from losing that game. As well as, honestly, the Falcons did not play well at all. The Falcons had 16 penalties on them that game, which is what really lost it. And the Eagles still only took it by 6 at home. And then their second win came to the Colts, which is arguably one of the worst teams in the NFL, and they still barely squeaked that out, even with the Wentzmobile back. So I don't see any real potential in the Eagles team. With that being said, they're still a Super Bowl team with a lot of returners. So we'll see. But I think that, a 2-1 start is actually not that impressive when you look at it, because they have not really dominated any of these games at all. So.
All right, and your next segment, you want to do something called Putts of the Week.
Yes, the Putts of the Week, something that just makes you shake your head.
Yeah. So you want to go first on that?
Sure. My putts of the week is the entire Jaguars versus Titans game, which the final score, do you remember that, was
9 to
9-6?
6.
5 field goals. I didn't watch this game, thank goodness, because I'd probably be dead had I watched it. I mean, just the fact that those, like, the Jaguars Titans just sounds like something you want to take a nap through anyway. But the fact that it just ended 9-6 just made me laugh when I saw it. Blake Bortles 21 for 34 with 155 yards, and then Mariota 12 for 18. And then Gabbert 1 for 3. I mean, no touchdowns anywhere in here. Like, I'm looking at the box score and I'm wondering what even happened in this game. What did they do the whole time? The running backs have no yards. The quarterbacks have no yards. What happened the entire time? I'm not sure.
Yeah, what a mystery. And my putts for the week is Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick. I like that.
Yeah, he was walking out of the tunnel. And some Lions fans, like young Lions fans, wanted a high five. And, I mean, yeah, they're Lions fans, but come on, Bill, you just had to walk right past them. Like, really? What
Putts?
Yeah, what a putz. What a putz. I'll just end it right there.
Yeah.
All right.
That one.
Yeah, so that's all we have for the NFL, but I know you wanted to talk about Tiger Woods and his tour win and that how he might be the greatest golfer ever.
Yeah, I absolutely would love to talk about that because what happened this past weekend cannot be overstated. It was incredible. And I think that, I mean, Tiger still does not have the most wins on tour ever. He still does not have the most majors. But will he get there? Yes. I absolutely think so. He looks very good right now. His swing looks very good, and I am more than excited about what I've seen from him lately.
All right. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of golf, but I do think that Tiger is playing really well. I mean, he's overcame back surgeries, I think. I mean, I know he's had some back problems, and
Yeah, he's had 4 back surgeries.
yeah, coming back from that's huge. So, I just think he's doing great, and I think he just made a name for himself again by winning that tour.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning of this year, he was 1,199th in the world. That was his world ranking.
And now he's number 1.
Well, now he's 13th in the world, but he won the tour championship.
Yeah.
And I think he did not even expect himself to be there 2 or 3 months ago. So it's very exciting for him. You know, I'm excited to see how this next year goes as he continues to chase down Sam Snead's 82 wins of all time. I do think that Tiger's got at least 3 more in him. Honestly, I think he's got 20 more in him. I want to see him go for 100. I mean, he's 42 years old. He'll be 43 in December. But I still think if he continues to stay healthy, which he said he's never felt ever since all his back issues and personal issues, he has not looked this good for this long. So I'm very excited about it.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. And the Ryder Cup. Give us some insight on the Ryder Cup.
Yeah. So the Ryder Cup is this year. It's the USA versus Europe. Happens once every 2 years. So this year is very exciting. It starts this Friday. They're playing Paris. So all the TV coverage and stuff starts at 2 a.m. American time.
Oh, good.
But it's very exciting. I mean, Tiger's in the field for the U.S. The U.S. has a dangerously strong team, maybe one of the strongest teams they've ever had. You got Tiger Woods, Justin Thomas, Brooks Koepka, Bubba Watson, Jordan Spieth, Patrick Reed, Webb Simpson, Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, Ricky Fowler, and then 2 rookies this year, but 2 of the best players on tour. Both in top 5 in the FedEx Cup, Bryson DeChambeau and Tony Finau. So I'm very excited to see how the Ryder Cup goes. It's a very big deal. We have not won it on Europe's turf in a very long time. So I'm hoping that this year will be the year. Over on the European side, too, they have 5 rookies. Definitely a lot less experience, a lot less guys in that top 25. So we'll see how it goes. Even though the USA looks like they're just easily better, I still think the Ryder Cup always seems like it's a shootout. So we'll see what happens. I'm very excited, though, and I'm hoping that we can take the cup.
Yeah. Yeah, that's our golf guy from now on, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, great insight there, by the way. But I forgot to add one thing about the NFL. Patrick Mahomes is on pace for 82 touchdowns this season,
which is crazy.
Yes,
insanity.
Crazy. He will probably break that if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, I wouldn't be surprised if he does. I do think, though, as Andy Reid gets fatter, his team gets worse. It's almost Thanksgiving time, so I don't know if the Chiefs will be able to keep it up. We'll see. I would not like to see Mahomes break Peyton Manning's record, but it could very well happen.
Yep. But that's all the time we have in this podcast. A lot of great stuff to talk about. Jonah, thank you so much for joining me. Do you want to tell the fans where to find you on social media?
You know what? If they want to find me, they can find me. But thank you for having me on here. I really appreciate it.
Okay, just denying the fans like that. I see it. Yeah, but
No,
yeah.
I love the fans.
Yeah, but thank you again for joining me. Hopefully we'll have you on more often, some more live appearances instead of over the phone, because this over the phone thing is sort of a test for me. So hopefully the audio quality sounded pretty good, but yeah, but
I'm sure it was great. Well, thank you for having me on. I appreciate
hey, Jonah, anytime, man. And thank you again for that doing that intro for the first 4 podcasts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Being replaced by the great Dave Johnson is nothing to be ashamed about.
Yes, that I can agree to that. But anyways, thank you so much, folks, for joining us today on the podcast. Make sure you tune in next week for another episode of the Josh Kirby on Sports podcast. Until next time, I will catch you on the flip side. Have a great night.